Hi, Cancer, and welcome to your 2025 forecast. Okay, we are going to be doing 6 different questions, topics. Okay, it's why I've got the cards done ahead of time so we can spend more time talking. All right, and also we're going to be looking at messages, guidance, advice, prediction. Okay, things you need to know for 2025. So let's get right into this. The first card we have out is Challenge You May Face. Oh, and it's Prosperity Begins. I'm liking this because it's the Magician card, okay? But this is a challenge that you may be facing. So I want to look at it from that perspective. I'm going to bring a tarot out as well just to get a better feel. But the first thing that's coming out is I feel like there's going to be a block, some kind of challenge about getting something started, okay? Like, look, you've planted the tree. It's starting to produce fruit. The fruit is starting to come out. But for some reason, there is a block there. It's almost like, okay, well, now that the tree is producing fruit, well, what do I do now? Like I've done the first part. I'm not really sure what to do about the second part, okay? So I feel like that's the challenge. It's almost like, it's you could just say it's almost like not thinking things all the way through to the end, right? Not seeing the big picture all the way through to the end. You've done well, you've seen it up to this point, but now there's a new phase, and this new phase I feel could be feel like a bit of a challenge for you. So let's get a tarot though to go with it and see what they say. We have the Three of Swords. Okay. So, something good has happened, all right, but it changes it up a little bit here with the Three of Swords. Definitely what I said in the beginning is for some people, okay, or else the message wouldn't have come through. But this is almost like, the challenge. It's like, how to say it? When you think the worst before anything has ever happened, you go down the path of negativity, like, everything's going so good and you're just like waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's what I was looking for. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop because you're like, well, this is too good to be true. It almost feels like it could be something like that for some of you, where it's like you're just waiting for something bad to happen, like for something to come in and just, cut it off at the knees almost. That's what I feel the challenge is going to be. So what is Spirit's advice for this? It's right here. It's the beginning. You cannot have this attitude, okay? You cannot have that attitude. Look at what you've accomplished so far, or the good that's happened so far, because this can be in any area of your life, right? So something up until this point has been going quite well. So for some of you, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. For others of you, it's just about having the plan, like being able to see big picture. Like, it's like, okay, I got myself this far. Now what do I do? Well, you need to start looking at it. I'm going to say bigger picture, right? Like you need to say, okay, well, if I was going to give advice to someone else, what would I say to them if they were in my situation? It sometimes is easier if you think about giving a third party advice, because you don't and wouldn't talk to them or say the same things to them that your negative self-ego would sometimes say to you, right? So that is for some people. But even if you're here and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop, I just want to put a big X through that card. And seriously, you just start to need looking at it big picture as well. Why do you think there's going to be failure here? You've had success up until this point. This can be relationships. This can be at work. This can be in any area of your life. You're trying to manifest and bring something good in. And it's happening. But I feel like it's almost like you're your own little worst enemy here, okay? So that's what I want to say, the challenge that you may face, all right? Let's keep going. Positive energy to embrace or something that may bring you joy. We have obstacles and challenges. Love it. Now you're probably thinking, why would I want to embrace that? How could that possibly bring me joy? I'm going to say it's not necessarily a bringing you joy. It's more of a positive energy to embrace in the sense, think of a 5 here, okay? The 5 is change. The 5 is also the Hierophant. The 5 is about possibly learning something here, okay? It's about change, challenge, conflict, right? Everything that we're talking, obstacles and challenges. You want to embrace them because fighting them, when you come up against an obstacle and a challenge, it's kind of like back here, right? You can fight it. What good does that get you other than just more negativity and worry and anxiety and everything else? If you actually embrace the challenge and the obstacle and realize this is happening, I need to get to the bottom of it because there is a solution here. And that solution is something that I'm going to learn from. That's why you're going to positively embrace it. It's like it doesn't feel good in the moment. I'm going to get a tarot here too. But I know that after, it's going to be good. And it may even bring joy to you, okay? I'm just saying. But it's not going to feel good in the moment. But once you get past it or even start working through it, then that is when everything changes. So that's when the positive change happens. Look. And there we are. Positive change. And out came the 3 of Cups. Celebration. All right. So for some of you, this could even be in friendship groups or people that because it's a group right here. So for some of you, it could be obstacles and challenges having to do with groups of people in your life, whether it's family, co-workers, friends, acquaintances. Did I say colleagues? I can't remember. But for some of you, it may be about that. But here's the thing. They're telling you, if you embrace the change, the challenge, and you work through it, there will be celebration for you at the end. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Okay? So let's just keep that in mind. Now, the negative or shadow energy for you to work on. Choosing wisely. Oh, it's one of the hardest things. It's like the 7 of Cups, right? There's some good choices, there's some bad choices, and there's just some, down the middle of the road choices. Spirit always wants you to make the choices that are going to be the best for you, the best for your life, the best for you and everyone involved, the wise choice, right? But I feel here, because this is coming up in negative shadow energy to work on, that maybe you just need to work on making the wise choices. I want to say, again, this is so interesting because it's like these birds are flying high, right? Again, it's like seeing things big picture. This is very important for you because it's here, seeing big pictures here, right? Like really thinking about what would it be if I were to go all the way with it, what would it look like? I feel it's the same thing here. Choosing wisely is looking at all those different choices and making the one, whether you're using your intuition, whether the greatest thing would be if you were using your logic and rational thought, your ego, right, along with your intuition and your emotion and your gut feeling, and you have them working together. That would be the best case scenario here as you're working on this negative shadow energy of maybe not making the best decisions, all right, about things. You have everything working together and you actually look at each one and, clearly there's going to be the one you're going to go, no, that would not be good for me. In the past, that never worked for me, okay? And then there's going to be the ones that are, it's where you're really going to use your logic and rational thought and your intuition and make look at it big picture, long run. What's the long-term success that could come from this, right? Or good that could come from this. And then the good ones, again, it just may be, when there's good choices, I feel like there's really not a bad one. You could, you just need to pick one. But for those other ones, you really need to make wise choices. Look at this, the Three of Wands. There he is. He's looking at things. He's made a plan, okay? He's made the plan. He knows what it is that he wants to do. He's made the choice, okay? And now he's standing there waiting for, I say this one can go either way, either his ships to come in, which is good, or for him to go out on the adventure, which is good, okay? So you need to get to here where you've made the decision, the good, wise decision, and now it's just a matter of waiting for it to come in. You're doing the work to help it, or you're going out after it, okay? But that's the shadow energy, making better decisions. It just needs to happen. And you know what? Don't beat yourself up for the bad decisions you've made. Look, aren't obstacles and challenges? Don't we learn from them, even though it doesn't feel good? I love how this is all tying together. You can also take this too, though, Cancer, as individual messages, but really some food for thought here, I think. And, good messages, advice, guidance, and prediction for what can happen if you work on these things. So let's look at what it is you need to make room for. Success, triumph, winning. Well, isn't that what's going to happen if you make good decisions? Isn't that what is going to happen if you move past and through these obstacles and challenges when you stop blocking your prosperity? Oh, yours is very, very much linked here in every card that's coming out. Yeah, and it's a 7-2. It's about, growing, success, right? It's about gaining knowledge and making good, wise choices. You need to make room for the success. Blocking it with obstacles, challenges, because this all ends up being negative energy that's moving in and around you and surrounding you, and that's no good, right? So this is all about moving past it, getting rid and letting go of all that old stuff so that you can bring in the good stuff. You need to make room for the good stuff, okay? And I feel like you are very much set up, they're telling you right here, for good things. There's celebration. There's good stuff coming in, or you're going out after it. There's going to be success, triumph. Maybe for some of you, you felt quite burdened, okay? You need to let go of the burdens. Look, he's almost there with this 10 of Wands, right? He sees a little village. He sees a fertile field plowed. He's like, you know what? If I can just get the heavy burden of all these wands, the battles, the whatever you want to call it, the things that have been weighing on me, if I can just get over there, I'm almost there. A few more 100 yards and I'll be there, right? There's success to be had. You just need to keep pushing forward. Okay. Love that. Now, what do you need to avoid here, Cancer? Okay. And this isn't all going to happen. This can happen many different times, maybe for some of you, in many different ways throughout 2025, Cancer, okay? Maybe you're kind of going through some of it right now. So they're saying as you move into the new year, let's get serious about really addressing some of this stuff because there's so much good. And as I say, we can ignore it. We always can. We have free will. But what will happen is those obstacles and challenges and those choices will just keep coming up over and over and over again until we make the right choice, right? It's the way spirit works. Think about your life when it's come to stuff like that. You know, one person comes in and they're just not good for you, and you get rid of them, they go, whatever. And then, you know what? Another person comes in. It might be in a different way. This time it's a coworker, but it's the same kind of situation. It makes you feel the same way. Well, then, you know, you quit that job, you move on. Do you see what I mean? Like the same thing will happen over and over again. But let's talk about what you need to avoid. Recognition and reward? No. We don't want to avoid that. No, sometimes it's just the card that comes out because there isn't an opposite of that. So they don't want you to avoid recognition and reward. They want you to do everything but that. They want you to avoid not recognizing good things or rewards in your life, right? They want you to be able to stand up and accept feeling worthy, that you deserve it, that you've maybe put in the hard work, that you've done something great. It could be, even with the 3 here, it could be something you've done in the community. It could be something that you've done in your extended family or with your siblings, right? Like, maybe you have been out, this is communication as well, and you've been sharing what you've learned about different things, and you're sharing that with people and you're being recognized for it. They want you to accept the accolades. They want you to accept the good, okay? They don't want you brushing it off or just, you know, pushing it away or not telling anyone that you are being recognized for something. They want you to be in a happy place. You should be very proud of yourself. So they want you to avoid, I'm going to say, keeping it quiet. And again, in whatever area of your life. Yeah, just there's no need to be keeping it quiet here, Cancer. None at all. You need to be standing proudly, and standing proud with the air of, I do deserve this. I worked hard for this. Doesn't mean you let your ego take over or that you're up bragging and being all boastful. Not at all. That come up in another sign, but in a different way. But yeah, you know what? You need to embrace it, not avoid it, okay? So, loving that. Let's talk about what opportunity you should seize or grab a hold of. Truth. Just something interesting about all of this, because we've been talking about blocking and prosperity, the beginning of something greater, the continuation, really. We've talked about making good choices. We've talked about obstacles and challenge, recognizing yourself, being truthful. Being truthful. I love it. It's like the judgment card, right? It's being truthful. It's realizing who you truly are. It is trying to move past the negativity and up into higher frequency and vibration. It's realizing that anything is possible. When you live in your truth, when you know who you truly are, but just in your day-to-day, you're living truth. You know, you don't beat around the bush. Doesn't mean you're out, and I always say this because I never want people to be confused by the misuse of Dr. Phil's tell it like it is. That really is speaking your truth, not, you know, I'm the superior, I know better, and I'm telling you like it is. It's not that, okay? That's not what living your truth is, or being truthful with people. Is not trying to tell them just how wrong or whatever it is that they are. That's not living in your truth. And this is a hard one because, you know, there's so many, we don't want to hurt people's feelings. Really, and that's what it boils down to, because sometimes the truth is harsh, but you just have to learn a way to have the conversation, to communicate without being harsh, right? Being nurturing and kind and compassionate and empathetic while you are speaking about it. Look, We have the Justice card that come out too. It's all about balance. It's about being fair. It's about understanding that, you know what? Actions have consequences. And maybe when we're trying to be truthful with people about an action that they've taken and the consequence that's happened that isn't so great, you know, it's just being, again, like I said, not judging, but kind, compassionate, and caring as you're being truthful. But again, that's just with people. There's also just being truthful with yourself, truthful with why can't I see big picture, maybe truthful with, you know what, I know the obstacles and challenges and I know what I have to do to move through it, but you don't want to deal with it, so you lie to yourself and say that that's happening and there's nothing you can do about it, type of thing. Or telling yourself that, you know, you've always made good decisions when you know darn well you haven't. It's that kind of thing, right? So whenever you have the opportunity, and Spirit is going to send those opportunities in, because this is about growth for you as well, right? Rising up. If you can live in truth and in the situation or the opportunity, live in truth, be truthful, then that is going to move and propel you even further. I want to say faster, because there's no beating around the bush. Cancer, this is your reading. Thank you so much for your support in 2024. My channel is slowly growing and I'm very appreciative of that. And that's because you've been watching and making a comment here or there and hitting that like button. If you are a new Cancer and this is the first time you've come, please subscribe and hit that like button. Maybe you like the cards. Maybe you like some of the messages in here. You know what? Maybe it really resonated with you on a very deep level. I would appreciate the support with that like button being hit. And I want to wish you all the best in 2025. I don't know. I feel this is very positive to me, even though we're talking about, you know, obstacles and challenges and making wise choices. Again, there's like right here, there is a lot of good, right? It's working through this. I almost feel like a lot of good. You just kind of got to work through it here. So take the advice, the guidance, the prediction of what your life could be if you were to work through it, Cancer. Thank you so much.